Good afternoon, world. Welcome to Global News Digest. I'm your host, bringing you today's most important global headlines. Today is December 31st, 2025, and we have comprehensive coverage of international news from around the world. From breaking political developments to major business updates, technology breakthroughs, and cultural highlights, we'll take you across continents in the next several minutes. We'll be covering major stories from North America, Europe, Asia, the Middle East, Africa, and South America. We'll also bring you the latest in business, technology, and global affairs. Our team has gathered the most significant news stories from trusted international sources to keep you informed about what's happening around the world. Let's begin with today's top stories. In global news, Story 1. After the floods of 2025, can we keep 2026 above water? Flooding has become the world's foremost climate hazard, according to experts. So what do we do about it? Let's continue with more details on this developing story. Story 2. Yvette Nicole Brown put CNN Chevy Chase doc on blast. The community actress, who is said to have had racially charged clashes with the SNL star, posted a statement to Instagram. Let's continue with more details on this developing story. Story 3. Tuesday's big stock stories. What's likely to move the market in the next trading session? CNBC. The major averages slid on Monday, with the S&P 500 posting back-to-back losses as investors sold tech names heading into the end of 2025. Let's continue with more details on this developing story. Story 4. They found a 1-meter dinosaur foot. 20 years later, it breaks a world record. The Daily Galaxy. Bigfoot was real, but it belonged to a dinosaur. See the record-breaking fossil that's redefining prehistoric giants. Let's continue with more details on this developing story. Story 5. An A to Z list of 2025's biggest stories. From artificial intelligence to Zoran Mamdani, Al Jazeera compiles an A to Z list of 2025's biggest stories. Let's continue with more details on this developing story. Now to Europe. Story 1. Israel to bar 37 aid groups from Gaza. The move was criticized by foreign ministers from 10 countries including the UK, who said the new rules were restrictive and unacceptable. Let's continue with more details on this developing story. Story 2. George Clooney and family awarded French citizenship. The Hollywood actor and his wife, Amal, purchased their home in the south of France in 2021. Let's continue with more details on this developing story. Story 3. Eurostar delays persist as passengers stuck on board overnight. Eurostar says it plans to run all of its services on Wednesday, but there may still be delays and cancellations. Let's continue with more details on this developing story. Story 4. Carney speaks with European leaders on efforts to reach Ukraine peace deal. Prime Minister Mark Carney says he spoke with European leaders today on the latest efforts to advance Ukraine's security and recovery. Let's continue with more details on this developing story. Turning to North America. Story 1. Music in 2026. Who's releasing new albums and will Oasis play net worth? BBC. Music correspondent Mark Savage previews the biggest albums, tour and festivals of the coming year. Let's continue with more details on this developing story. Story 2. Asia-Pacific markets mostly fall on penultimate day of the year. CNBC. Investors will be focused on China's military exercises around Taiwan today, after it announced new drills surrounding the island Monday. Let's continue with more details on this developing story. Story 3. Billionaire Bill Koch sells banking scion Paul Mellon's former Cape Cod house for $20 million. Mansion Global. Koch has closed on a 7.4-acre slice of the former Mellon property in Osterville, Massachusetts. That includes the 1950s main house. Let's continue with more details on this developing story. Story 4. Xbox 360 user shows what'll happen when it reaches date limit on December 31st, 2025. The final date you can set the console clock to. Did you know that you can't manually set the Xbox 360's console clock to anything later than December 31st? Let's continue with more details on this developing story. Story 5. Scientists just found 8 strange caves on Mars, perfectly built to shelter life. These mysterious caves on Mars might be proof we're not alone. Let's continue with more details on this developing story. In the Middle East. Story 1. Live. Israel's ban on aid groups to have horrific outcomes in Gaza. Dozens of humanitarian organizations, including Doctors Without Borders, are banned by Israel. Let's continue with more details on this developing story. Moving to Asia. Story 1. China mediated in Pakistan. India tensions. Wang Yi. China's Wang Yi claims Beijing mediated tensions between India and Pakistan, amid scrutiny over military support to Islamabad. Let's continue with more details on this developing story. Story 2. China plans strict AI rules to protect children and tackle suicide risks. BBC. The draft regulations are aimed to address concerns around chatbots, which have surged in popularity in recent months. Let's continue with more details on this developing story. Story 3. Scientists found more than 16,000 dinosaur footprints underwater in Bolivia. Times of India. Science News. The plateau does not look special at first. Dry ground, pale rock, wind moving through long grass. It is the kind of place people pass without slowing. Let's continue with more details on this developing story. From Africa. Story 1. The operators issuing fake corporate licenses in the name of a tiny African island. An ABC investigation has identified several individuals involved in a network of illegitimate corporate regulators and service firms. Let's continue with more details on this developing story. In business news today. Story 1. Asia-Pacific markets mostly fall on penultimate day of the year. CNBC. Investors will be focused on China's military exercises around Taiwan today, after it announced new drills surrounding the island Monday. This is a significant development in this field. Story 2. Sportsbet pressured key watchdog into watering down enforcement announcement. Gambling giant Sportsbet pressured the Australian Communications and Media Authority into watering down enforcement announcement. The ABC can reveal. This is a significant development in this field. Story 3. Availability of the 2025/26 press release. Lesquin. December 30th. 2025 6 o'clock p.m. Availability of the 2025/26 half-year financial. This is a significant development in this field. Story 4. Funding business campaigns falter. Despite demand for tipple, brewer Richard Jeffers's Victorian company raised about $2.5 million from 993 investors in a matter of days through a method called crowdsourced funding, also known as equity crowdfunding. This is a significant development in this field. Story 5. California should determine if pipeline is safe to operate. Sable Offshore Oil and federal government intervened to strip state of control. This is a significant development in this field. In technology news. Story 1. Billionaire Bill Koch sells banking scion Paul Mellon's former Cape Cod house for $20 million. Mansion Global. Koch has closed on a 7.4-acre slice of the former Mellon property in Osterville, Massachusetts. That includes the 1950s main house. This is a significant development in this field. Story 2. Xbox 360 user shows what'll happen when it reaches date limit on December 31st, 2025. The final date you can set the console clock to. Did you know that you can't manually set the Xbox 360's console clock to anything later than December 31st? This is a significant development in this field. Story 3. Topological skyrmions enable robust information storage for microsecond-scale applications. Scientists have successfully stored and retrieved complex light structures, called skyrmions, in a cold atomic vapor for several microseconds, proving their resilience to disturbances and paving the way for more stable, topologically protected data storage technologies. This is a significant development in this field. Story 4. Rainbow Six Siege still struggling after Ubisoft was forced to briefly intentionally shut it down following third-party hack. Rainbow Six Siege is still struggling today after hackers gave out billions in in-game currency, forcing Ubisoft to be. This is a significant development in this field. Story 5. Lemken introduces second range of precision seeders. Lemken introduces second range of precision seeders December 30th, 2025. This is a significant development in this field. That wraps up today's Global News Digest. Thank you for joining us for this comprehensive global news update. We've covered major developments from around the world, including breaking news, business updates, technological advances, and important global affairs. Our goal is to keep you informed about the events that shape our world. From all of us here at Global News Digest, we'll be back tomorrow with more comprehensive coverage of world events. We'll continue to bring you the most important stories from trusted international sources, helping you stay connected to global developments. Until then, stay informed, stay connected, and remember, tomorrow's global headlines. Today, don't forget to subscribe for your daily dose of international news. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.